Hey everybody, welcome back to Saul Gittleman Park for some JumboCast on this Wednesday afternoon. Today is the matchup between the 2 and 3 overall Tufts University Jumbos and the 0 and 6 MIT Engineers. Today here with Matthew Long. Matthew, how are you feeling about this matchup today?
How's it going, Nick? I'm feeling good. We've got a great day for some spring baseball. The Jumbos looking to bounce back and get in the win column against a winless MIT Engineers team. So I think we're going to get the anthem here, and then we'll get started.
Awesome. All right, and we are back after the national anthem. Matthew, how are you feeling about the Jumbos defensive lineups today? Walk us through it.
Yeah, Nick, let's take a look at the squad that head coach Brian Stark is going to trot out there today against the Engineers. On the bump, we have junior right-hander out of Walpole, Mass. That is Cole Donato. He's making his second career start for the Jumbos, standing in at 6'3", 190. He did make one appearance this year against Eastern Connecticut State. Went 2 and 1/3, conceding 2 runs. He's looking to bounce back from that one. His battery mate for today's matchup is Nick Banner, who does the catching in place of Connor Brala, grad student who's been having some trouble defensively behind the dish. Let's go around the horn, first base to third. At first, uh, consistent fixture in the lineup. Cooper Smith, he's a senior first baseman out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Boasts a 500 batting average. Up the middle, we've got Ian Robertson, who gets the nod in place of Jesse McCullough, who's been struggling at the plate. And shortstop, consistent fixture, the captain of his ball club, Ozzie Fleischer. He's an all-NESCAC defensive player of the year. And at third base, we again see James Henshin, the freshman out of Wellesley, Massachusetts. In the outfield, from left to right, it's a bit of a new look outfield today for the Bows. We've got Ben Leonard, the consistent everyday starter, but then Caden Abraham and AJ Lysko. Abraham in for everyday starter Henry Fleckner, and Lysko in for Owen McKiernan. So we'll see how those guys do in new starting roles this year for the Jumbo squad.
Yeah, for sure. And then on the offensive side for the Engineers, batting first, Teddy Schoenfeld. Batting second, Brock Billingsley. Batting third, John Spivey. Batting fourth, Zev Moore. Batting fifth as the designated hitter, Malachi Soki. Batting sixth, Reed Tubbs. Batting seventh, CJ McCarthy. Batting eighth, John Dwyer. And batting ninth, Luis Hernandez. Obviously, the Engineers will look to get in the win column today for the first time this season. Notably, their schedule, they did come back from their California campaign, playing Chapman University, Pomona Pitzer twice, and then University of Laverne, notably Pomona Pitzer and University of Laverne, both ranked. Pomona at number 14, Laverne at number 10. They took 3 losses to them, but will look to bounce back against the Jumbos in a matchup that they won last year, and will look to do the same this year.
Yeah, Nick, the Engineers undoubtedly ran into some tough squads on that road trip, so we'll see if that prepares them well for a familiar opponent in Tufts that, as you mentioned, they bested last season. First pitch underway at 3:02. It's a ball up.
First pitch, of course, for Cole Donato, has played a good season last season, and then will look to start well this season. That one grounded to Fleischer, but to Smith, and Smith is on top of that one for the first out.
Nice to see Cole Donato getting a efficient first decision, something coaches always like to see. Quick pitch decisions, getting the batter in and out in under 3 pitches. Often a hallmark characteristic of strong outings. So hopefully Donato can keep doing that as he chugs through this Engineers lineup.
Up next, Brox Billingsley pitches in. That one, ball 1, count 1-0. That one, Fleischer again to first base. Cooper Smith. Bit of a dive there from James Henshin. Doesn't get on it, but Fleischer right behind him.
Nice rangy play in the hole there by Ozzie Fleischer, flashing the leather. The 2023 NESCAC Defensive Player of the Year, making the first 2 outs of the inning and backing up his junior starter.
Up next, John Spivey, the first-year outfielder from St. Louis, Missouri. Strike 1.
Numbers on the year for Spivey. He's slashing 300, 333, and 500. Also has 1 homer on the year, so it brings a bit of pop to this 3-hole. Nice off-speed pitch there. Has him way out in front.
Second in, that one. Foul ball going just to the right of that first base line.
Interesting, Nick, to see Billingsley and Spivey, 2 first years, hitting in the heart of this lineup for the Engineers. Not something you see super often. Definitely optimistic for the future of this squad to have such a young top of the lineup.
Yeah, I think definitely some trust from the head coach as well on that one.
Ooh. The boys wanted it there. You saw everyone taking 2 hops towards the dugout. Tried to sell it, but couldn't get the call in the outside corner.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the catching changed for the Jumbos. As you mentioned, it has been Connor Brawl. That one out to left field and Ben Leonard. Leonard, that one falls in front of him, though.
Yeah, that's one of those tough, awkward in-between plays. Leonard, I think, a mature approach to that one. Generally, the rule of thumb is balls on a line you don't want to dive for because those are going all the way to the wall. Something with a little more loft under it, you can go out and try to make a play, but especially with 2 outs, getting the body on it and keeping him at first base, minimize the damage.
Yeah, obviously lots of experience coming from Ben Leonard, both on the offensive and the defensive side of things. Count 1-0 right now. Donato looks to first to pick. Nothing there, though.
Zev Moore now at the plate hitting out of the 4-hole for this lineup. Definitely the most imposing bat in this Engineers lineup. Ooh. So he takes one high and tight, eats it right off the left shoulder. Yikes. Little chin music that Zev Moore couldn't get out of the way of.
Yeah, not a spectacular start for Donato, but of course we'll look to bounce back at least. Runner now on first and second. Bringing up designated hitter Malachi Soki.
Donato misses with the backdoor slider. 1-0. Got 2 ducks on the pond here for Soki. He's a senior infielder out of Castaic, California.
Slugging 438 right now, so definitely a dangerous bat on the mound. Only batting 188, but I think perhaps slugging and on-base percentage telling a bit of a different story. Pitch now 1-1. Here it is. That one high again.
Yasoki maybe definitely a bit of a down year and is limited just 16 at-bats thus far, but this is a guy who was a 2022 NUMAC Rookie of the Year, started 31 games out of 34 in his freshman season, so he's been a consistent contributor to this MIT squad as that pitch catches the outside corner. Count goes to 2-2 as Cole Donato tries to work out of this early first inning jam.
Yeah, Soki started 27 games last year as well. That pitch gets the out there, and Donato gets himself out of a bit of a dangerous situation, brings the Jumbo's offense back up.
Yeah, maybe caught Malachi Soki guessing a little bit there. Off speed just kind of freezes him, and good work by Cole Donato getting out of the inning. 2 hits. One hit, no runs, 2 stranded. We go to the bottom of the first.
On the defensive alignment for the Engineers, as you can see on your screen, on the mound will be Brian Rapanen. On the playing catcher is John Dwyer, and then of course around the horn at first, Luis Hernandez. At second, Zev Moore. Playing shortstop, Reed Tubbs. Playing third, Brock Billingsley, and then in the outfield from left to right, left field, CJ McCarthy. Center field, Teddy Schoenfeld, and playing right field is John Spivey. Player I would like to shout out today is Teddy Schoenfeld, the outfielder from my home state of Boulder, Colorado. This kid has a palmarès that is longer than most teams combined, ranging from NUMAC First Team All-Conference in 22, 23, and 24, All-Sportsmanship Team, Academic All-Conference, Academic All-District, D3 Baseball Summer Honor Roll after leading the NECBL in batting average for the New Britain Bees, ABCA All-Region Team, among a ton of other awards. Definitely a player that the Engineers will appreciate playing center field.
Looking on the offensive side of things for the Tufts Jumbos, we can go mano-a-mano as far as awards are concerned. Ian Robertson stands in the leadoff hole in place of junior Jesse McCullough. This is a kid that was his student governor and valedictorian of his high school. Tufts is certainly matching the academic might of the Engineers in that respect. In the 2-hole, we've got Ben Leonard, who's been swinging a hot stick, followed by Max Pavliks, Cooper Smith, hitting .500 on the year, freshman James Henshin, AJ Lisco, Nick Banner does the catching and gets his second start of the year. Grad student captain Ozzie Fleischer in the 8-hole, and Caden Abraham gets the start today, who's appeared in 3 games and is slashing .385, .444, and .375 on the year. Now standing in, we've got Ian Robertson. As the first pitch is a fastball yanked outside to the sophomore second baseman from Traverse City, Michigan.
Second now. That one, again, high outside.
Robertson, a sophomore. He appeared in 4 games last year, had 2 hits and just 5 at-bats. This year he's 1 for 1. Came in against Eastern Connecticut State and had a knock in a pinch hit appearance.
Nice to always at least come in as a batter and then manage to get a hit and get your season started.
4-pitch walk to get things started, so does his job, though wasn't much challenge out of the leadoff hole. Standing in now, Ben Leonard, who's been the everyday leadoff guy and is swinging a hot stick for the Jumbos. He had 5 hits against Eastern Connecticut State, including 3 doubles and a triple. So certainly a hot bat in the Jumbos lineup. He's 10 for 20 on the year.
That pitch down the middle, by the looks of things, finds a strike. Rapanen, the senior right-handed pitcher from Gurnee, Illinois, majoring in artificial intelligence and decision-making. That sounds complicated.
Definitely some cool.
That one out to center field, out to Teddy Schoenfeld,
That's
who dives, and it comes just in front of him. Jumbos start running around.
Ben Leonard with a triple in the left center gap to get things started. Just over the head of the center fielder out there, and he brings home Ian Robertson for an early RBI triple for the Jumbos.
Yeah, that's a great start for the Jumbos. An unfortunate start for Brian Rapanen. Will look to bounce back against designated hitter Max Pavlik. Pavlik picked up his first career home run against Wheaton this weekend. Rapanen finds a strike there.
Yeah, Pavlik's the sophomore DH from Illinois. He's hitting 350, 400, 550 on the season, so a nice slash line from the young DH. Only appeared in 4 games last year, in which he was 2 for 6, so nice to see him getting off to a hot start in his sophomore campaign. He's been a consistent fixture at the top of this lineup for the Jumbos.
Count 0-2. Swings at that one, fouls it off. Second, that one goes high. Makes the count 1-2. Pavlik gets onto that one, sent to Zev Moore, who gets it to first. A little high, but manages to get it down anyway, and Luis Hernandez gets the out.
Nice work doing a job there by Max Pavlik. That's just disciplined hitting. 2 strikes, shortens up on a nice back foot breaking ball, and is able to just get it on the ground and plate that run. Saw some small golf claps from Coach Gomez over at first base. That's something all coaching staffs like to see, a guy getting the job done with 2 strikes.
Now it brings up for the Jumbos, Cooper Smith.
Opponent keeps yanking that fastball in the lefty batter's box to righties. Smith, the senior first baseman out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Kind of an interesting archetype to see as he grounds one at the second baseman there. Be the second out of the inning.
Yeah, good little sequence there from Zev Moore and Luis Hernandez to get those last 2 in a pretty common collected way. Zev Moore manages to get that pitch down, or the pass to Hernandez down a little further. The first one to get out Max Pavlik was a little high, but
standing in now, we've got James Henshin. He's a freshman third baseman out of Wellesley, Mass. He's a guy that's gotten the nod every game thus far starting in his freshman season. So Brian Stark, as he grounds one up the middle at the shortstop, dogging it down the line, but he's not going to beat the throw. That's the third out of the inning. The Jumbos plate 1 on 2 hits and a big triple from the 2-hole hitter, Ben Leonard. We'll go to a break.
all right, and we are back. 6, 7, 8 hitters taking on the Jumbos defense. Up now is Reed Tubbs, that first pitch, a strike from still Cole Donato. Second in, that one inside ball.
Tubbs, a senior infielder who is also a two-way of sorts, something that's a fun thing you see often at the D3 level. He pitched an inning in 2/3 against Laverne on their road trip out in California. Gave up 2 hits and no earned runs, so a commendable pitching outing for a guy that's generally an infielder. He started 5 out of 6 games for the Engineers in the infield, slashing .294, .353, and .455. As he bounces one back to Cole Donato, nice little PFP, and calmly flips it over to Cooper Smith for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that was well handled there by Donato. That ball came straight at him. Always, I think, a bit of a terrifying moment as a spectator for a pitcher to see, but handles that one well. Quick and easy to Cooper Smith for the first out.
Standing in now, we got C.J. McCarthy, a grad student out of Pawling, New York. He transferred to MIT, actually, from SUNY Oswego, where he was an all-conference second-team player in 2024. So he's here as a grad student studying math and economics.
Batting average .340, slugging .490 at SUNY Oswego in his career. Had 9 home runs, 65 RBIs.
Yeah, this is definitely a formidable bat at the bottom of the MIT lineup.
Pitch in.
Donato misses inside there. McCarthy works the count to 2-0. Looks like Donato's having some pitch comp problems. Looks down at his wrist. It's back on the rubber. I guess he figures it out.
That one swung fouls wide.
Little cue shot off the hands over the Jumbo's dugout. Henshin gave it an honest effort, lost the hat in the process, showed off the flow. Laughing at the boys, maybe.
Maybe knew he couldn't get to it. Worth the effort anyway.
Hey, as a freshman, you got to show effort all over the field in practice and games. On foul balls, you know you're not going to get to.
Perhaps why he's earned the start. And that one goes high. Count now 3-1 in favor of McCarthy.
That's fouled back our way. Catches the netting. Got a full count now to C.J. McCarthy. Donato does a nice job staying in the fight. Absolutely freezes him there with the heater. Caught C.J. McCarthy guessing. Second time we've seen that from Engineers up at the plate, just standing stoically and watching strike 3. So Cole Donato sits down the second out of the inning and
brings up sophomore catcher from Northport, New York, John Dwyer. This season started 5 of 6. Didn't start against the first Pomona-Pitzer game as he takes the first pitch. Gets onto it for that one, but fouls it back. This season batting .267, slugging .333, on base .389. Has 15 ABs, 4 hits and a run. Not a terrible start to the season for the sophomore.
Nice outside slider there. Catches the corner for Cole Donato. John Dwyer stands in no batting gloves on this kid, something you see pretty rarely nowadays. Names that come to mind, maybe Matt Carpenter, Trent Grisham. When you swing a hot stick with no batting gloves, it can be intimidating, but whenever you go down on a Cole Donato outside slider, you just end up trotting back to the dugout as the Jumbos sit him down 1-2-3, and we will go to a break in the bottom of the second.
Back up to bat right now is the 6-7-8 for the Jumbos, starting with sophomore from Canton, Mass, AJ Lisco. AJ, a standout on both the football and baseball teams of his high school team. Last year appeared in 11 games for the Jumbos, as the first pitch from Raponen goes outside left.
Lisco gets the nod today in place of Owen McKiernan, the everyday right fielder out of Durham, North Carolina for the Jumbos, who's been struggling a bit at the plate. So we'll see if Lisco can prove himself and insert himself as a more consistent fixture in the lineup for Brian Stark's offense.
Raponen finds a strike on that one, sends the count to 2-1. Lisco, notably, 2 home runs last year. I called one of them. Was good fun, but of course has had less of an appearance this season. As he gets onto that one, fouls it down the first base line.
Count stands at 2-2 now to the sophomore right fielder out of Canton, Mass.
That one to Luis Hernandez, and then Raponen snags the out himself there.
Nice play there. Raponen doing his job, getting over and covering the bag. Both pitchers doing a good job of fielding their position thus far, as the 3-1 putout goes for the first out of the inning, bringing Nick Banner up to the plate. He's a freshman catcher out of Palm Beach Garden, Florida. This is a storyline we'll be following. He's in for Connor Bralla, who's been swinging a hot stick but struggling a bit defensively. So the freshman gets the nod and is doing the catching today, making his second start of the year.
Yeah, we'll see what impact that makes on the Jumbos offensively. Of course, hoping Brian Stark is trying to make some defensive changes to solidify the mitt behind the plate. Count 2-0 now.
Yeah, there's all sorts of questions now behind the plate for the Jumbos with the injury to Malcolm Whitfield, obviously a standout star last season and seemed like he was going to be the everyday guy for years to come. His injury complicates things for the Jumbos. Connor Bralla was a big offensive prospect coming off of a hot campaign last year in which he had a slug over 1 dot with 4 home runs, but his defensive struggles may keep him out of the lineup a little bit, so we're going to see if we can get some output out of some of these young guys.
That one walked. Count 4-1, and now bring up the grad student Ozzie Fleischer, the shortstop.
Fleischer, a captain of this ball club. He started all 41 games last year and hit .308. Bit of a different narrative this year. He's just 4 for 19, which gives him a .211 average, so looking to get some more production out of one of the leaders of this ball club. He's always a consistent glove up the middle, making some good plays in the top frame of the first inning. At shortstop, he won NESCAC Defensive Player of the Year back in 2023, so looking to get some more offensive production out of what has always been a sure-handed fielder. As that pickoff move skirts away over there. Taking a look on Nick Banner, but he gets back safely and cannot advance on the errant throw.
Yeah, Banner there thought about it for just a sec, decided against it. Count now 0-1. Pitch comes, gets on that one, sends to Billingsley. But a little bit of chaos as that throw goes wide. Jumbo's still moving around. Banner deciding not to come home, brings Fleischer to second.
Yeah, awkward play there. Tubbs comes in and cuts off the shortstop, kind of bobbles it, and then spikes the throw. So what originally on that chopper looked like it maybe could have been 2 if there was a clean transfer, ends up putting guys on second and third with only 1 away now for the Jumbos. So a big error potentially a costly error as it brings Caden Abraham up to the plate with 2 ducks on the pond in scoring position. Abraham, a sophomore center fielder out of Pacific Palisades, California, only appeared in 1 game last season, has made 3 appearances this year. It's 3 for 8. Takes that first pitch in there on the outside corner. Fastball catches the edge.
Yeah, Abraham had 2 RBIs against Wheaton, 2 hits against them as well. So definitely a bit of a threatening bat in this position. Swings on that one. Count now 0-2 for Abraham.
Looked like maybe a changeup there. Well tunneled with the outside fastball. Has him way fooled out in front, kind of flailing at that one. So now he's going to have to shorten up, try to put one in play as we saw last inning.
That one goes wide, 1-2. Rapanen, that was his 28th pitch of today.
We saw Max Pavliks in the first inning bounce one over to the right side, and he was able to plate Ben Leonard.
Swings on that one, sends it out to Hernandez. Hernandez to Rapanen, gets the out there, but does bring home Nick Banner. Score now 3-0 for the Jumbos.
And just an absolute carbon copy of what we saw Pavliks do in the first inning. Caden Abraham with 2 strikes, able to shorten up and bounce one over the right side. Coaching staff loves to see that. Good offensive production out of the Jumbos. Working in tough counts and getting guys in. And flipping to the top of the order now.
Brings up leadoff Ian Robertson. As we mentioned, the infielder from Traverse City, Michigan.
Tight slider there from Rapanen. That one was nice. Definitely the best one he's been able to break off thus far.
Pitch count no 0-2, but gets on that one, sends it to Moore. Moore gets it to Hernandez, just barely. Hernandez does nearly a full split and just barely beats Ian Robertson.
Yeah, kind of an awkward forward dive there by Zev Moore, but gets the job done and throws over to his stretching first baseman to retire the final out of the inning. Jumbos played another. Lead extends to 3-0. We'll take a quick break before the top of the
All right, brings up Luis Hernandez for the Engineers, the sophomore infielder from Glastonbury, Connecticut. That one in, swings that one out to left field.
stays fair. It's gone. It's fair. Left fielder Ben Leonard protesting, but calls it fair. Touch 'em all. Luis Hernandez as he golfs an inside fastball over the 330 sign out in left field. The entire Jumbo's defense and dugout are up in arms saying that ball was left of the foul pole, but According to home plate umpire, that was a fair ball and a solo shot to put the Engineers on the board.
Score now. 3-1. What a start for Luis Hernandez.
Yeah, just kind of golfed that one out of here. Coldonado's sitting high 80s, around 87, 88, and able to pull the hands in, get inside of it, bring barrel that inside fastball, and just kind of golfed it over the 330 sign.
Yeah, it looked almost casual. Just swing the bat, and that ball was gone. That one in, fouled out left.
Henson might have a play on it as he's raging over. Nice play. Number 9. Oh, excuse me. It was Ozzie Fleischer raging. Back in what is often described as kind of a Bermuda Triangle region in foul territory behind third base. Nice play by the Gold Glove shortstop, getting over there. Good communication with his freshman third baseman, making the play and getting the first out of the inning for Coldonado.
Yeah, that was a good sprint from him to get over there. Now up to bat for the Engineers, Owen Malone, the junior utility player from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Malone, I believe, is going to change for Reed Tubbs, if I'm not wrong, but I might be mistaken on that one. So just we'll keep an eye and update you on that. He comes in this season. He started 5 games. He's had 11 at-bats, no runs or hits this season. Last season, though, was NUMAC Academic All-Conference, and then also appeared in 22, starting 10, pitched 7 games, had 12 hits last season, batted .300. Count to him now, 1-2. That one out to right field. AJ Lisco. Lisco gets under it and takes the out for that. 2 outs now for the Jumbos.
Good work by Coldonado after that leadoff bomb. Getting back on track and getting 2 quick outs. Looks like the ball's carrying pretty well. I really didn't think that that one was going to make it all the way out near the warning track in right field by the way it came off the bat. Maybe that's an explanation for Hernandez's effortless bomb to lead off the inning, but Spivey stands in, John Spivey in the 3-hole, as the slider catches the outside corner for strike 1. Nice first pitch of the AB for Coldonado.
Spivey slugging .500 this season, batting .300. Swings at that one with some effort, but beat him to the glove, 0-2.
Yeah, back to the wall on the slider there for Donato. Interesting to see what he goes with 0-2. He's got a lot of options. Looks like high fastball is what they want.
Jumbos thought that one was a strike. Doesn't get it. Count goes 1-2 now against Spivey. Spivey, a first-year outfielder, dynamic player in high school, first-team all-conference, along with having the highest GPA of his class all 4 years. So clearly MIT and the Engineers taking the student athlete seriously. Was in his state of Missouri 3rd in the state ranking for outfield and then 194th in the nation as well.
Chops the 2-2 pitch down over towards his head coach in the third base coach's box. Fouls it off. Count remains 2-2, but an interesting pitch sequence. Went 2 sliders to start off the at-bat, and then 2 straight fastballs. Now back to the slider. See what Donato brings on the 6th pitch of the AB here to John Spivey.
Swings at that one, pops it up, and easy under it for Ian Robertson.
Ian Robertson does a good job taking command of the infield there. We'll go to a quick break after a 1-run inning from the Engineers, led by a big swing off the bat of Hernandez to lead off the inning, a solo shot. Jumbos lead 3-1. We'll take a quick And we're back in the bottom of the third. Last inning, we saw a solo home run from Luis Hernandez. Ball came off the bat at 104 miles an hour, just kind of gulfed an inside fastball. Interestingly, our read from the TrackMan was 310 on distance, which is a bit perplexing considering that 330 sign on the left field wall. So not sure if the guy who measured the Jumbo's left field was the same guy who measured the distance to the Green Monster over at Fenway, or if it was the heavy wind blowing out in that direction here at the Git. But nonetheless, a nice home run for Luis Hernandez puts the Engineers on the board.
As well, just to quickly clarify, Owen Malone did not come in for Reed Tubbs out at shortstop. Reed Tubbs still there. That one fouled back to left net as we have Ben Leonard up to bat right now for the Jumbos. Count to Leonard, 2-2.
Leonard smoked a triple into the left center gap in his last at bat to plate Ian Robertson. He's been a hot stick, probably the best bat in this Jumbo's lineup. Been getting used to hitting out of the leadoff spot, but clearly no issues dropping down to the 2-hole. He's now 11 for 21 on the year with an average now over 500. But that fastball is blown by him, and a rare K to lead off the inning. Nice pitch by Rapanen. TrackMan data says Rapanen's fastball is up around 87, 88, similar to Donato, and just blows that one by Ben Leonard.
Brings up Max Pavlik.
Pavlik did a nice job shortening up his swing in his last at bat and kind of dribbled one down to the right side and was able to plate Ben Leonard over at third base, something coaches like to see with 2 strikes. The Jumbos have done it twice thus far in this game. Swings and misses as that. At that, what looked like either a cutter or a sweeper. Interestingly, Rapanen has both in his arsenal. They play off of each other nicely. That one maybe looked like the cutter.
Count now 0-2. Pavlik gets on that one. Sends to Moore. Moore to Hernandez. Hernandez beats Pavlik to the bag there, and the Engineers pick up their second out.
Baseball's a unique game, Nick. You know, Max Pavlik does functionally the same thing in both at-bats, but he's applauded for it in his first and doesn't get as many high fives jogging back to the dugout after his second at-bat with nobody on. So, interesting how practically the same result can yield different reactions.
Perhaps a reflection on society itself. Up to bat now is Cooper Smith, the first baseman. Traditionally a pitcher, now though playing first base, of course. Or traditionally an outfielder. My apologies, not a pitcher. Started 21 last year, been consistent at first base this year.
Kind of a rare archetype you see out of the 4-hole. He's hitting 500, but all singles. So usually you associate that spot with maybe slightly lower average, slightly higher slug. For Smith, identical average and slug, both sitting at 500. But coaches are not going to complain about that. With a 500 slug, no matter how you take it, is pretty good as he chops one at the third baseman, hustling down the line. Again, they throw it into the ground. The second error we've seen, an E6 this time. And Cooper Smith reaches base. Whenever teams are winless, you start to wonder why, and maybe it's some defensive miscues that have been plaguing the Engineers season, as we've seen 2 early in this game. Let's see if the Jumbos can capitalize now with 2 away as James Henshin stands into the batter's box.
Henshin snagged an RBI against Johnson and Wales University last night. Will be said the Jumbos did pick up another loss against them last night, but look to bounce back today. Did you watch yesterday's game? Any thoughts?
I missed it. I took a peek at the box score. I mean, I think the big takeaway from a couple brutal, heart-wrenching games this weekend is just need a little bit more defensively, a little bit more out of the arms. Usually whenever you put up 9, 10 runs, I think we lost 17 to 9 yesterday. I mean, whenever you put up that many runs, you expect to win ball games. So it's not an issue with the bats so much as it is with the ability to limit the other team's bats. I think Coach Brian Stark is going to look for a little bit more out of his rotation, a little more out of the bullpen, and a little bit more out of the gloves behind them moving forward. Because the team collectively is hitting over a 300 clip and scoring a lot of runs. So just got to limit the other team a little bit more.
Count now for Henshin 0-2 as Rapanen looks again to first base to pick, but nothing there. Cooper Smith able to get back. Pitch now. Henshin swings at that one, fouls it back into the parking lot, I think. Always a dangerous day to park in the parking lot on a Wednesday afternoon.
Certainly, we've got a tall net over there, but plenty of cars, plenty of targets for foul balls over to that side. Nice job laying off of the sweeper there. Works the count to 1-2, does James Henshin, the freshman who has started every game at third base for Brian Stark. Another one over towards the parking lot. Hear the dugout bark out on it and send what I would imagine is an underclassman out that way to track down the foul balls. Always a phenomenon that we like to keep an eye on in the booth. Everyone plays a part in this team, even if they're not out on the field. They're tracking down foul balls or warming up guys or doing their part.
Jack Kamen out to grab that one. The freshman outfielder. Count now, 2-2. That one drops under the zone, send the count full.
Henshin gives a nice big nod down towards the dugout. Seems to be seeing it well, works the count to full. 2 outs, full count, runners will be in motion. Let's see what Henshin can do. As he takes ball 4 inside. Got 2 outs and 2 guys on, now bringing up sophomore right fielder from Canton, Mass, A.J. Lisco.
Good walk-up song.
Oh, yeah.
First pitch, high outside. Rapanen looking to find that top corner, can't find it there. Rapanen at 56 pitches today. Finds the zone for that one, though. Sends the count 1-1.
I think that's the cutter. That's a good pitch when he can land it back door like that. It's a couple miles an hour faster than the sweeper, but still pretty good horizontal movement. TrackMan data says the sweeper's moving 14 inches. Pretty tight spin on that. Impressive stuff, especially at the D3 level.
Lisco manages to get a small piece of that one. Foul now, 1-2. Again, another piece of that one. Fouls it somewhere. Not really sure where that ball went, to be entirely honest. Count now, still 1-2 for A.J. Lisco as Rapanen tries to find his third out of today with a runner on second and a runner on first. Pitch in, pops that one high behind.
Little cue shot, kind of a swinging bunt, just barely trickles. Foul. Catcher jumped on it quickly. Maybe his pitcher wanted him to give it a second, see if it would trickle into fair territory there, but second life for AJ Lisko, who's looking to avoid his second punch out of the game. He's got 2 guys on. An opportunity to pick up a couple stakes here. Chops another one foul. Working the pitch count here is number 34.
Lisko fouls another one back, managing to stay alive here and send the pitch count of Rapanen a decent few higher. That one high up. Dwyer under that one to find the third out for the Engineers. Brings back up the Jumbo's offense. We'll take a quick break.
All right, we're back, and we've got a pitching change for the Jumbos after a 3-inning outing from Cole Donato, in which he conceded 1 run. We've now got Hunter Beindorf, the right-hand pitcher. He's a grad student out of Lone Tree, Colorado, your home state, Nick. Stands at 6'1", 195, appeared in 12 games last year for the Jumbos, starting just 1, but posted a very respectable 3.32 ERA with 8 Ks across 19 innings of work. Studying biomedical engineering here at Tufts, and he comes in inheriting a 3-1 lead, looking to hold this Engineers lineup. He'll have Zev Moore to start off the inning.
Zev Moore for the Engineers. As we said, a dynamic bat for him. Favorite sports memory, winning European Championship qualifiers in Sweden with the Israeli national team. He was a three-time All-Star in the Israel National High School League as well. Hit .529 in high school his senior year. Impressive. Now hitting this season also .579 over 19 ABs, starting all 6 games. Had 8 runs, 11 hits. Definitely a dynamic offensive player for the Engineers. First pitch for him, a ball, count 1-0.
Yeah, I bet this Zev Moore kid could put together a pretty elite 2 truths and a lie. He's got a pretty cool bio, has represented his team, played in European championships. He's studying Mathematical economics and finance at MIT.
Seems to be a common major on this team. Some form of mathematics, economics, and finance.
Had some cool AI decision-making type things, but yeah, it's
Also
generally
true.
a STEM, science, money type of school, and seemed to be congruent with the lineup for their baseball squad.
2-1 now. The count for Beindorf. Beindorf, that pitch in goes high, sends the count to 3-1. See if he can work himself out of this and get back on top of the count.
Moore works a walk. So Beindorf lets the first guy he sees on base. See if he can bounce back now.
Brings up the DH, Malachi Soki. A triple major, computer science, economics and data science, and business analytics. One might call him an academic weapon. Sends that one to center field for Caden Abraham. Abraham chooses to go to Fleischer, who drops it, but rolls quickly and easily to James Henshin to calm down the action. Engineers now 1 on second, 1 on first.
Yeah, all over that fastball. Laces one out to center to Caden Abraham. Luckily hit it so hard and directly at the jumbo center fielder that runners can just go station to station. Tubbs now stands in, hitting out of the 7-hole.
The infielder from Pflugerville, Texas, majoring in chemical engineering. Bunts that one back to us. Always, as mentioned in the box here, a bit of a terrifying moment when that ball does come back and come back quickly as that one did. Of course, we have a net and glass in front of us. Still a little frightening. Count now 0-1 as Tubbs is going to look to try and put Engineers either across the plate or in scoring position.
Taking this time, not looking to bunt, takes a slider in. 2 strikes now. Runners can shade back as you see Henshin motioning over to Cooper Smith to now play behind the bag. No threat to bunt with 2 strikes. So he chops one over, Henshin's way, who smartly steps on the bag, fires over to Cooper Smith. Skips it in. Smith does a nice job coming off the bag and just keeping that one in front of him. So, trade, little fielder's choice, got first and second now with 1 out on a nice play by James Henshin.
Brings up, of course, a different batter walking into the same situation. Brings up CJ McCarthy, number 26, the grad student from Pawling, New York. First one, a strike as Beindorf finds that top outside corner.
Jumbo's pitchers thus far, Cole Donato and now Beindorf, have done a good job establishing that get-me-over off-speed pitch. First pitch of at-bats. Seen it land for a strike several times here. As that ball skirts away from the freshman catcher and gets to the backstop, runners will advance. Now guys on second and third with 1 out. And CJ McCarthy at the plate. So Hunter Beindorf finds himself in a little bit of a bind, no pun intended, here in his first inning of work. See if he can pitch out of it with 1 out.
As far as unintentional puns go, that was pretty good.
Thank you, Nick. Delivers, comes set. Pitch misses in. Count goes to 2-1 now. Looks like the Jumbos are playing corners kind of right in on the lip of the grass. I say grass, if you will, it's turf, but the lip of where the green meets the brown. Quarter infielders deep.
That pitch again outside the strike zone goes inside. 3-1 count to McCarthy now. McCarthy swings at that one, sends the count full. Perhaps a little bit seeing this MIT squad show some of their offense that maybe their schedule is telling a different story than their capability as a team, waiting to see in this Jumbos matchup. Of course, score 3-1 now. Batters on now. Loaded as McCarthy gets the 4th ball.
understandably going to get a mound visit. I mean, I think that pitch went behind him, something you rarely see past the Little League level. Somehow it was snared by the Jumbo's backstop banner. Rare to see rare to see a pitch go behind a batter, and then even more rare to see the catcher catch it. But nonetheless, bases loaded and a mound visit here with one out as Hunter Beindorf is finding himself in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, loaded bases will bring up for the Engineers John Dwyer, number 27, the sophomore catcher.
And waiting imminently with his imposing 6'2", 215 stature is Luis Hernandez in the on-deck circle, who back in the third inning put one over the 330 side in left field. So not a guy you want to see come to the plate with the bases juiced. See if the Jumbos can maybe spin one here, get out of it with a double play. As Hunter Beindorf comes set, delivers the first pitch. It's a ball low, blocked nicely by freshman catcher Nick Banner.
Yeah, Banner's done a good job of getting that one in front of him, and of course, hoping to not replicate the catching concerns that head coach Brian Stark might have had in the past to prove that if he's getting the nod to start, that one fouled out into the parking lot. A little unsure where that ball was going to drop initially, but falls safely outside for the Jumbos. Dwyer now 1-1 count, 1 out, bases loaded. Swings that one again. That one goes down to the right field line outside.
Same pitch, same result on two back-to-back sliders now for Hunter Beindorf. Dwyer cated his first at bat. Beindorf looking to replicate the outcome here with the bases loaded and one away in the top of the fourth.
Swings on that one, 1-2 now. Or was 1-2, I suppose, but no changes in the count there now. Bit of a high-pressure situation for Dwyer, you might imagine. Goes down swinging on that one, brings up Luis Hernandez. Almost a little more dangerous for the Jumbos. Matthew, what do you think?
Yeah, huge job there by Hunter Beindorf. Getting out of the jam, goes 3 straight sliders and punches out Jack Dwyer, his second strikeout of the game, but now a big threat in Luis Hernandez, who had a solo shot in his first at-bat now. Call this the at-bat of the game. With bases loaded. Ooh, and boy does he.
Swings that one, center field. Abraham under it, though, for an easy out. Beindorf gets himself out of that one.
Man, Luis Hernandez definitely wants that one back. He was coming up to the plate hacking, kind of got a hanging curveball, just barely missed it, got under it. They strand 3 now, so the Engineers, after some early offensive efficiency, cannot get any across, and we'll go to a break. Lead remains 3-1. Tufts.
And we're back for the bottom of the fourth inning for the Jumbos. Brings up Nick Banner.
This Banner take ball one, tight cutter on the inner half, just misses on the inner edge. Banner walked and scored in his first trip to the plate.
Raponen still on the mound for the Engineers at 63 pitches.
I'm really liking this cutter sweeper mix that Raponen has working. The cutter a couple miles an hour harder, the sweeper harder horizontal break, and then he's got that 87, 88 mile an hour fastball. But that one is barreled right back up the middle as Nick Banner is having himself a nice little day. He's now 1 for 1 with a walk and a run. Good way to get the inning started.
Yeah, I managed to get on the bag there and brings up Ozzie Fleischer. Will look to keep the Jumbos' offensive momentum going and get the Jumbos back into scoring. Gets onto that one, fouls it behind him.
Fleischer chopped one softly to the left side and reached on a defensive miscue by the Engineers' third baseman. So call him 0 for 1 for the day, but a productive 0 for 1 nonetheless. Fleischer kind of struggling to get things going this year, but he is a grad student and a captain for this Jumbo squad who has posted high offensive efficiency in the past. So I think Bride Stark is going to keep riding it. Really just a matter of time before his bat warms up. He is in the hole 0-2 now.
Swings to that one, drives at center. Zev more dives, can't get to it. Schoenfeld sends that one to Reed Tubbs at shortstop to shut down the base runner from advancing. Runners now on first and second.
Nice piece there by Ozzie Fleischer. We've seen good two-strike hitting all game from the Jumbos, and the trend continues as the grad student shortstop laces one up the middle. We've now seen 2 hits off for Potted right back his way, get up the middle out into center field by the Jumbos to start off this inning. So they're in the driver's seat now as the order flips to, as Abraham comes up in the 9-hole and runners go. Throw goes through to second, but Fleischer was not running. So a little trickery from the Jumbos. Well played as Caden Abraham squares to bunt. The third baseman cannot crash on account of the runner on second, and just all sorts of confusion enables the stolen base.
Yeah, that was a good bit of little cheeky strategy from the Jumbos, of course, as the pitch from the catcher does go firing towards the second base bag, which, of course, Ozzie does not care about because Ozzie doesn't run. That one outside lower, trying to find that bottom outside corner.
Yeah, it's something you see teams do a lot whenever you have first and second situations. The batter will square because the third baseman needs to hold his bag, worrying about that steal from the guy on second. We saw the Engineers try it with an early square last inning, didn't end up laying the bunt down. But like we saw here, even if you don't get the bunt down, it can cause all sorts of confusion and disarray on the defensive end that enables things like stolen bases or bunts or errors. And so the Jumbo's capitalizing on that.
Yeah, especially that one fouled left back into the tennis courts. Especially with an MIT squad that has made a couple of errors in today's game, all of which that have kind of been consequential. Jumbo's maybe seeing if they can force them a little further. Count now 2-2. As Raponen checks back to Fleischer at first before sending the pitch in. Abraham swings at that one, sends the count to still 2-2.
Caden Abraham has come up in the 9-hole in 2 favorable situations now, both with runners on, which guy hitting out of the bottom of the order likes to see. Picked up an RBI and a ground out in his first AB as he laces one at Zev Moore, who makes a nice play. Wow. Web gem from Zev Moore, and they turn 2, though they do plate 1 as Nick Banner comes across to score. Nice play by the junior second baseman out of Tel Aviv there to double off Ozzie Fleischer and Caden Abraham. Top of the order now for the Jumbos with 1 away. Ian Robertson comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 1.
Yeah, that was a great play there Zev on top of that one, flick to Tubbs, I believe, and then Tubbs send that one to Hernandez. Hernandez was on that for the double. Of course, now Ian Robertson up, count 0-1.
Have to imagine Raponen would trade a run for 2 outs in that situation any day. Nice to have a clean slate now for the top of the lineup. Base is empty. Count 1-1 for Ian Robertson, who has grounded out and walked, also scored.
Yeah, of course, head coach for the Engineers, Andy Barlow, will maybe say MIT bats look to be heating up just a little bit. Going to play the gamble there, take the 2 outs, and then see if we can come back offensively in the next inning. Count 2-2 now. That one goes outside, sends the count full.
Yeah, Raponen reached back, tried to get a little more oomph on that 2-strike fastball, kind of just yanks it into the lefty batter's box. Seen that a couple times. Decision time, and that one is sent out to center field, ranging back and making the play is Schoenfeld to end the inning. Jumbo's plate 1, and we will go to break before the top of the 5th.
All right, back for the top of the 5th. Score 4-1 in favor of the Jumbos. Up to bat is Teddy Schoenfeld.
Brian Stark will trot out Hunter Beindorf for another inning of work. Last inning had 1 strikeout, 1 hit, did give up 2 walks, but was able to strand the bases loaded in only 16 pitches.
Yeah, Beindorf did a good job there of working himself out of a tricky situation and manages to keep the Jumbos in the lead there. Could have been really dangerous, especially with Luis Hernandez coming up in that bases loaded scenario.
Fastball misses high, finds himself now in a 3-0 count, so on the verge of walking his 3rd batter. Didn't get a call on that 2nd pitch, curveball wanted it.
Finds a strike on that one. Looks like Beindorf trying to find that high outside corner of the zone right now, or at least was maybe 2 pitches ago. Can't find it there though, and takes another walk. Schoenfeld headed to first. Third baseman, number 12, Owen Malone, up right now. Looks to bunt on that one, but doesn't.
Schoenfeld, the center fielder's got some happy feet over at first base, so we'll see if he gets in motion. And right on cue, Beindorf makes the pickoff, so concerned about his wheels over there. He tracked one down, raging backward towards the 400 sign in center to end the last inning, so definitely got some speed on the bases to start the inning for the Engineers. Take another look. Back in safely with a head-first dive.
Yeah, Schoenfeld playing the gamble there, just sitting far enough off that he can still get back. He does
Good
go,
jump.
though.
Oh, boy. Throw is way offline into center field. Luckily, no advance, but freshman catcher Nick Banner off the mark with that one, but a really good jump nonetheless. Speeds up the whole process there. Schoenfeld, even with a good throw, probably makes it in.
Yeah, that was an impressive run from Schoenfeld. Clearly has wheels, knows he can get to the bag if given the chance, and takes it there. Swinging on that one, Owen Malone. Count now 2-1.
So the steal makes it such that Owen Malone no longer needs to square. Swinging away now. 2-1 count, and he's in the driver's seat looking to plate the leadoff man of this inning, Schoenfeld, who stands on second base. That one is fouled back as the count is worked to 2-2.
Beindorf got himself out of a tricky situation in the last inning, looking to not get himself into one this inning and find his first out.
Ooh. Wanted that one. Great slider on the outside corner. Thought he landed it for strike 3, but home plate umpire doesn't think so. Count is now full.
Swings on that one, drives it to left field. Of course, Ben Leonard, that one goes down the left field line. Leonard sprinting to it. Schoenfeld plated. And in that case,
nice two-strike hitting there by Owen Malone, lacing one over the head of James Henshin down the left field line. So once again, we see the Engineers finding offense in that left field corner, this time off the bat of Owen Malone. It's an RBI double, still nobody out. Bringing up to the plate Jake Spivey. He's 1 for 2 on the day.
John Spivey.
Oh, excuse me, John Spivey.
That one goes outside. Over at second, Malone leading off pretty far. Maybe looking to run. Changes his strategy now. Not leading off at all. Oh, just kidding. He's moving. Pitch from Beindorf now. Count 1-0.
Nice off-speed pitch. He lands there for a strike. Count 1-1.
That one goes down, maybe hitting ground just a little bit. Banner doing a good job of keeping the pitch in front of him.
That ball's grounded towards Ozzie Fleischer, who looks to third base, and they get the tag there. Nice job laying it on him there by James Henshin, and a heads-up play by Ozzie Fleischer, looking to third to get the lead runner. Gotta love that. Hunter Beindorf giving some claps out to his grad student captain at shortstop. Heads-up play to erase the man in scoring position. One away now, as Zev Moore, the 4-hole hitter, steps up to the plate.
Beindorf there looks to first, seeing if he can find any success in the pick. Doesn't, though.
Such a heads-up play there by Fleischer. Really just got to have, as the runner goes again, running all over Nick Banner, the freshman catcher. This time the throw's on the bag and a nice tag, but nonetheless, Spivey is in there safely. So second stolen base of the inning for the Engineers. Find themselves with another guy in scoring position for Moore now, who is yet to register an AB, though has 2 plate appearances, has walked once, and was hit by a pitch as he laces one now out towards the left fielder. Kind of an awkward read on it as the ball falls. Rounding third is Spivey. He's going to get the stop sign. It's a knock on account of the fact that Ben Leonard did need to dive for it, though wasn't the best route. It'll go in the scorebook as a double for second baseman Zev Moore. And Brian Stark is going to trot out to the mound and probably make a change.
Yeah, the whole infield comes in probably a needed change, or at least needed advice given for Beindorf. Pitch count wise, only at 33, but
yep, he's going to take the ball, and we've got a new wing trotting in from the pen. Awkward play there. Not what Beindorf likes to see again. It'll go in the books as a double, and definitely was a tough ball to read for Ben Leonard out in left field, but nonetheless one that he will admit he should have had. So,
if I'm not wrong, I think it's Gabe Fitzgerald. 42. That is, in fact, Gabe Fitzgerald. Also plays football for the Jumbos. In 2024, appeared in 5 games. Had 5.2 innings pitched. Had only 1 strikeout.
Yeah, Fitzgerald will inherit a tough situation with 1 out and guys on second and third. The guy on second representing the tying run with a now narrowing 4-2 lead for the Jumbos. But Fitzgerald is up to the task, at least we hope. He stands at 6'4", 220. Did post kind of a bit of an eyesore of a 14.29 ERA last year, but in minimal 5.2 innings of work. So see if he can clean that up this season coming in relief.
Appeared briefly this season against Wheaton. Didn't allow any earned runs or anything, but Fitzgerald seems to have more of, I suppose, a forward pitching style. His arm less send wide as Beindorf.
Something we have to point out is how much the Jumbos are feeling the hurt of the absence of Malcolm Whitfield, the steady defensive presence behind the plate. The Engineers have been running all over the paths pretty much at will on freshman catcher Nick Banner. 2 stolen bases in this inning have catalyzed the rally. No threat to run here with guys on second and third, but definitely something to keep an eye on as the game progresses, and more broadly as the season progresses. The Jumbos are going to need to find a steadying defensive presence behind the dish. It's arguably the most important defensive position on the field, and to lose someone who was all-conference, in fact, the best defensive player in the conference behind the plate, is certainly hurting the Jumbos. As Fitzgerald comes set to deliver the first pitch of his day. And it is what was intended as a backdoor slider, but it'll miss in the lefty batter's box.
Malachi Soki now. Castaic, California, the senior infielder. Up to bat.
Corners drawn for the Jumbos. Middle infield is back. Again, misses the mark with that backdoor slider. Can't land the off speed now. Got to imagine Soki sitting on a hitter's count is hunting dead red, looking heater, and looking to do damage now with 2 guys in scoring position. He does get the fastball, but it's a ball outside. 3-0 count. Gabe Fitzgerald could not find the zone. Does have a base to work with here. So not a ton of hurt. In a walk also would set up the double play ball, but never like to have leadoff walks. Green light swinging 3-0 and lacing a ball into right field. Rounding third and scoring is Zev Moore on a 2-run single to right field. by Malachi Soki.
Yeah, that's a great hit there. The ball comes back to Smith in the mound area, and he does drop it. I think maybe would he have gotten it to the plate? Probably not anyway. Score now 4-4 as the Engineers tie with Fitzgerald coming up. That pitch goes inside, nearly tagging Reed Tubbs.
A lot of trust in Malachi Soki, giving him the green light after not seeing a strike from the reliever, but comes through and delivers a clutch hit for the Engineers. As that ball is laced out towards left field, falls in front of Ben Leonard, and the Engineers are tagging Gabe Fitzgerald. First two guys to come up that he faces lace 2 line drive singles into the outfield. Engineers now have 2 ducks on the pond once again with still just 1 out.
Up now, CJ McCarthy. Of course, the looming threat for the Engineers, 2 batters away, Luis Hernandez, but the Engineers seeming to put offense together anyway.
And that plunks him, so bases are now loaded. Things are going from bad to worse for Gabe Fitzgerald and the Jumbos. Got 1 out and the bases juiced now. Not what you like to see.
Up now, John Dwyer. Fitzgerald will look to work himself out of this tricky situation with a new batter. That one low inside, ball 1.
Jumbos desperately need either a double player to cut off the run at home or a strikeout, anything to stop the bleeding here. But that ball is exactly the opposite. It skirts past Cooper Smith down the right field line. It's into the corner. Playing it off the fence is A.J. Lisco. That is a 2-run double into the right field corner for the Engineers. The lead extends. Now it is 6-4, still only 1 out.
Yeah, plated Soki and Tubbs there, and then, of course, brings up Luis Hernandez. Hernandez in his 3rd at-bat of today's matchup. First one, of course, sent that ball over the 330 wall. And now, second one was driven to center field, hung up just a little too much. Hernandez now will look to bat.
And Gabe Fitzgerald is trying to work the pace of the game. I'm not sure why. This is where you need a veteran presence to go out and slow him down. I wish Nick Banner would maybe have a mound visit. The ump is trying to slow him down, but he wants to speed through this. Sometimes guys can get sped up whenever they get into a bit of a jam, but he's got an imposing bat at the plate in Luis Hernandez, who put one over the 330 sign in left, as you mentioned, Nick, back in his first at-bat. So maybe you want to take a second to think about this if you're Gabe Fitzgerald. But
yeah, I think you're right. I think the rushing could be problematic. Count now 2-0. That one outside. Fitzgerald does find the strike zone. 1-2, or 2-1 now, my apologies.
Fitzgerald getting some nice backup, nice claps from his team, rooting him on, trying to get through this jam. Delivers in the 2-1.
Hernandez swings on that one, sends it towards center field. Looks like it's going to hang up, and it will.
Going to get a tag here from Zev Moore. The throw goes into third base smartly. No chance to get the runner at home, so they prevent the guy on second from tagging, but it's a sac fly there for Luis Hernandez, and the Engineers have hung a 6 spot in the top of the 5th on the Jumbos. The lead is now 7-4, and there's a guy on second with 2 outs.
C.J. McCarthy plated home there, bringing up for the Engineers Teddy Schoenfeld from Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, this is what kind of I expected to see before that last at-bat. We'll get, that's head coach Brian Stark going out to talk with his reliever. They're actually going to take him out of this game, so not the day that Gabe Fitzgerald was looking for, inherited a tough situation, only was able to retire one. So 2 of those runs will be inherited, but then an extra couple will be tagged on to his day, in what will only go as 1/3 innings of work.
For the Jumbos, up is number 6, who is Mark Hurley. Hurley this season pitched 2 innings in the Eastern Connecticut State win and then gave up 1 earned run, had 1 strikeout in that game. In 2024, faced 16 batters in 3 innings with a 9.0 ERA, 2 strikes. From Wellesley, Massachusetts, not too far away.
This has kind of been the blight of the Jumbos season thus far. Pretty good offensive production, but just can't limit opposing offenses. Now down 7-4 to the MIT Engineers in the 5th inning after MIT is able to hang a 6 spot on the Jumbos in an inning that is yet to finish. See the 3rd pitcher of the inning now in Hurley.
Yeah, I was going to mention to you, Matthew, do you think as head coach Andy Barlow for the Engineers, you're concerned walking into this Jumbos game at 0-6? What are you thinking about the season if you're the MIT head coach? Now, I guess, with this inning in context.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Coming into a game winless is always tough. The first win can feel like kind of a distant prospect, especially against a formidable opponent like the Jumbos. But, I mean, this MIT team saw some really good competition on their road trip out in California, as we mentioned, a couple top-ranked teams in the country. So I think they have to have some confidence, not be too absorbed in their losses and their record. Clearly showing some confidence in the 5th inning, their offense coming to life here, and they're in the driver's seat. The Jumbos are going to have to work from behind, which they haven't been too successful in doing this season.
Brings up Teddy Schoenfeld, the outfielder from Colorado. First pitch for Hurley goes outside, just outside the strike zone in that bottom corner. Swings that one. Center field looks like it's going to hang up, and it will as Abraham gets himself under that one to finally stop the bleeding for the Jumbos. Score now 7-4 as the Jumbos will look to come back up and generate some form of offensive response on their own to see if they can switch the momentum of this game that had previously been, of course, towards them. Now, definitely less the case. We'll take a quick break.
All right, so we'll see the Jumbo's offense here as we come back in the bottom of the 5th. Pitching change coming into the game for the Engineers is number 35, Chase Rubin, a junior right-hander out of Arlington, Virginia. Stands at 6'6", 200, but has been struggling mightily this season thus far. On their road trip out to California, pitched 3 innings against Mitchell, pitched 2/3 of an inning against Pomona Pitzer, gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs against Mitchell and 6 earned runs against Pomona Pitzer, which tallies to a 22 ERA on the season. And he stands in to face the heart of the Jumbos lineup, spearheaded by Max Pavlik, who roped a triple into the left center gap in his first AB. So the Jumbos desperately needing a comeback and have all the right ingredients for it here in the bottom of the 5th with the some favorable matchups in the lineup coming to the plate. Excuse me, this is Ben Leonard at the plate who hit the triple. Pavlik to follow, and then Cooper Smith. Count is 2-1.
That pitch in. Leonard chooses not to swing. 3-1 the count. Now, as Leonard tries to get the offensive momentum started for the Jumbos. Set. Pitch in. Finds a strike on that one. Ben Leonard disagrees. Count full now.
Fouled back. Do it again.
Pitch in. Swings at that one. Drives it towards right field. Will just get under Zev Moore as Spivey flicks it back in. And Ben Leonard able to advance. Brings up Max Pavlik for the Jumbo squad. As you mentioned, Matthew, Pavlik proving to be valuable in this matchup. The swings at that one, driven to Hernandez.
Oh.
Hernandez sends that ball way high. Leonard running. Pavlik chooses not to advance, but Leonard will make it to third. Pavlik does advance now on second.
Oh my goodness, just a comedy of errors from the Engineers. Just cannot capitalize on this lead. That was a tailor-made 2-ball right at their first baseman who throws it into left field, and then both runners able to take an extra bag for the Jumbos. Not what you like to see if you're an MIT fan. The Jumbos will take it, and now they've got arguably their most productive hitter in Cooper Smith up with no outs and guys on second and third.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the offensive momentum needed to be changed in the eyes of the Jumbos. They managed to make that happen there with a decent bit of offense from Max Pavlik and, of course, a decent bit of base running from Ben Leonard. Count now 1-0 against Cooper Smith. Swings that one, drives it to center field. Will it go? The answer is it'll hit the back wall. Runners move. Leonard across, Pavlik to third. Pavlik goes home. Really short dive, unfortunately, about 8 feet from home. And Hill taken out there. However, of course, Smith advances to third base. Score now 7-5.
Holy cow, not sure exactly what I just witnessed, but Cooper Smith roped a ball to the 400 sign, and then Max Pavlik blew through his head coach's stop sign and tripped and fell 45 feet away from home plate. So the Jumbos will take an RBI double, but what easily could have been second and third and nobody out turns into just a guy on third and 1 out after some errant base running by Max Pavlik that will undoubtedly be brought up in film study after this one.
A little unfortunate for Max Pavlik. Hits the ground. Has a bit of a, oh, this is unfortunate face on. Takes the out.
I mean, Coach Brian Stark was jumping up and down with his hands up in the air, about as clear of a stop sign as a big red octagon, and Pavlik just blows right through it. But nonetheless, the Jumbos still do score one, and they have the freshman James Henshin up with 1 out and a guy in scoring position. So things are not all bad. Has a 2-1 count. Checks his swing, but the ump calls it a strike on the swing on a pitch that was low. Don't have a first base umpire down there for an appeal, but from my bad view up here, did not look like a swing.
That one also seemingly goes low. Count now full for the freshman James Henshin. As we mentioned, a runner on third. Swings that one. That one sent to Tubbs. Tubbs flicks that one to Hernandez and manages to beat the runner. Hernandez has had a couple of pretty impressive full splits out at first base there.
Nice two-strike hitting there by James Henshin. Third time in this game that the Jumbos have been able to plate runs by just kind of slowly hitting balls along the infield with 2 strikes. So not great contact, but nonetheless productive outs as they score their second run of the inning. I'm curious, seeing James Henshin burn it down the line, what his 60 time is coming out of high school. He made that a bang-bang play on what looked pretty routine off the bat. So he's definitely a speedster over at third base. He's got long legs at 6'4". Brings Lisco to the plate, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and an RBI, so he's one of those guys that had a productive ground out in the infield earlier in the game.
Lisco now 2-1 count to him. Set from Ruben. That pitch is in. Finds the top corner of the strike zone and finds his second strike. 2-2 count now to Lisco. That one in. Lisco gets on top of that, drives it towards left field, falls just in front of C.J. McCarthy. Lisco will advance to first.
Nice piece of hitting there by right fielder A.J. Lisco. Puts himself on base with 2 outs. Brings Nick Banner up to the plate, who's having a nice day. He's 1 for 1 with a walk and has scored both times he's been on. Mound visit, a little conversation here for the Engineers, whose lead is slowly dwindling. Now 7-6 after 2 runs have been scored in this bottom of the 5th. Be curious to see if this conversation is going to be both about how to approach Nick Banner, maybe calm down Ruben, but also a bit of a conversation about whether A.J. Lisco is a threat to run. The right fielder could likely be in motion here with 2 outs, looking to get that tying run across at the end of this inning.
Pitch is in. Finds the first strike.
Banner, a sturdy 5'10", 175 frame. Played his summer ball in high school for the East Cobb Patriots. Pretty well-regarded AAU organization. Produced some high-level collegiate talent generally. Banner having a nice day today and a good start to his college career.
Yeah, a good start for Banner. We'll look to obviously continue here. 2-1 count now. Pitch is in. Banner swings, sends it center field towards Schoenfeld, but runners will advance.
Have a day, Nick Banner, 2 for 2 with a walk.
Brings up Ozzie Fleischer, runner on first, runner on second. Looking to, if possible, of course, take back the lead from the Engineers after their prolific 6-run inning and continue the Jumbo stamp on this game. This one in. goes to the top corner of the strike zone outside and finds it 0-1 to Fleischer.
One and one count as that pitch misses away in the lefty batter's box. Ozzy, obviously, as we've mentioned, struggling a little bit on the year, but nonetheless, this is the guy you want to see up in this situation for the Jumbos. Chops that one to the left side. Third baseman charges, coming up, making the throw in the dirt, but dug out nicely over at first base to retire Fleischer and end the inning. 2-4-1-2. Jumbos plate 2, bring the lead now to 7-6. We have the top of the 6th coming up next. We'll take a quick break.
And we are back. New pitching change for the Jumbos brings in the sophomore Matt Hirsch from Brookline, Massachusetts. Certainly very close to Medford. 2024 made 8 appearances, pitched an 8.25 ERA. Not necessarily an eyesore, but not necessarily anything to brag about either. Had 8 strikes in 12 innings pitched. In high school, a two-way standout for the Knights of Buckingham, Brown, and Nichols. And then an independent school league co-player of the year in 2022 will look to be the offensive momentum needed in this matchup against the Engineers.
Yeah, we'll see what Hirsch can do. The previous arms have struggled a little bit. We saw 3 of them for the Jumbos gruelingly battle through that 5th inning. Now both teams have 8 hits. Engineers have a 1-run lead going into this 6th inning as Owen Malone stands in. The third baseman is 1 for 2 on the day with a walk and an RBI double down the left field line.
Yeah, Malone had a good hit in that last inning, or last 2 innings ago, I believe, in that prolific 5th. And we'll look to continue that bit of offense. Hirsch up. I believe this will represent Hirsch opening up his account this season. If I'm not wrong, that would be correct. First pitch for Matt Hirsch in 2025 thrown. Second one, a little bit of chaos between Banner. Banner reaches down, ball on the ground, doesn't pick it up. Can't flick that one to Smith at first.
Yeah, really tough play there. Chopper right in front of, kind of equidistant between the rubber and home plate. Definitely the catcher's ball. Matt Hirsch kind of intruded a little bit on Nick Banner, maybe affected his ability to make that play. But a tough one that, not sure if that'll go down as an E2 or a base knock, but a difficult play for the freshman catcher. Scorebook's going to have that one as an E2. Oh,
That one straight into the left knee of John Spivey. Knee, leg. Regardless, walks to first. Brings up for the Engineers, Zev Moore.
Spivey may need a second to walk that one off. That one drilled him either right in the side of the knee or the calf, but Hirsch is going to have to step off the rubber and let Spivey jog this one off down the right field line.
Yeah, I think it hit him like high left hamstring maybe, like near his knee. Painful regardless.
Immediately he looked into the dugout to fire up the boys, and I was a little bit surprised there was not much more of a pain reaction. Definitely a tough cookie, the Engineers right fielder, but has to walk it off once it gets down to the bag. All right, we're back. Zev Moore stands in with nobody out and 2 guys on.
That one goes high outside. Zev Moore, of course, does not swing. Count now 1-0.
In 3 trips to the plate, Zev Moore has yet to be retired, has a double, a walk, and a hit by pitch, along with 1 run scored.
Swings at that one, fouls it back. Zev Moore, as we mentioned, living up to his reputation as a prolific offensive player for this Engineer squad. They have a couple, and they've proved to be worth their weight in gold today, keeping the Engineers in this game. Of course, the Engineers would love to engineer their way to staying in the lead. That one driven left. Quick tag there made. That ball flicked to first, or flicked to the mound. Oh, just kidding. That ball never actually moved. Fooled me. But nice little play from James Henshin there.
Yeah, smart play by there by James Henshin. Malone ran right into the tag and then smartly eats the throw as Moore was booking it down the line. So fielder's choice on the tag out will leave an identical situation with 1 away. Guys on first and second. And Malachi Soki now stands in. The DH is 2 for 3 on the day, including 2 RBIs.
Yeah, of course, Zev Moore there, living up to his reputation of getting on the bag, and he does. Soki will look to go 3 for 4 today. Swings at that one, misses. 1-1 now.
Really like that pitch there by Matt Hirsch. He's kind of a funky delivery sidewinder type, and that's tough to pick up from the lefty batter's box.
Swings at that one, drives it right field. AJ Lisko under that one, and we'll snap that one back at Ian Robertson.
Yeah, that ball got out there so quick that John Spivey didn't have a sec to get back on second base for the tag up. So runners stay put now with 2 outs. Good work by Matt Hirsch working out of this early jam. Got a ball on the field here. Not sure if it's looks like it's a ball out of the bullpen. So Hirsch gets back to work here. With 2 outs, he'll face Tubbs, the shortstop, who stands in. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Nice slider to start him off. Tubbs way out in front, flailing at that one.
Tubbs, a chemical engineering major. That one drops inside, outside of the zone. Score now, or count now, 2-1, my apologies. Tubbs again, fouls that one to the ground. Count 1-2 now.
Matt Hirsch has good stuff, and from that funky delivery, it's really tough to pick up. We've seen a couple really nice pitches in this at-bat. It's 1-2. See if he can finish off the shortstop for the Engineers. As runners are in motion, ball is dribbled right at Fleischer, who throws it over to Cooper Smith to end the inning.
Jumbos.
2 hits, no damage, no runs,
Lead remains 7-6 for the Engineers, and the Jumbos will bring the bats to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. We'll take
Brings up, as we're back, Caden Abraham for the Jumbos. The center fielder. Gets onto that one, sends it towards Tubbs with a flick to Luis Hernandez. Luis Hernandez proving that after his initial errors early in the game to be fairly rock solid both offensively and defensively. And one out.
That'll flip the lineup for the Jumbos. We've got Ian Robertson standing in, the second baseman. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a walk and a run scored. Takes the first pitch high up in the zone.
Second one finds a strike, 1-1 now. That one chopped towards Tubbs. Tubbs flicks to Hernandez. Hernandez high above him. Does he get the tag? The answer is yes. Holy athleticism. That one, a full jump into the air, gets it, brings the glove down, and gets the tag on Robertson.
Man, good thing the Engineers have a lengthy first baseman over there, because that was a high errant throw. Large catch radius over there. I mean, usually you see dribblers like that in the infield or choppers. They're pretty much surefire at this level, but they have been anything but in this game for the Engineers. Couple errors on the infield. Not really at ease whenever you see those ground balls. Saw Chase Rubin quickly snap his head back around to take a look at it as shortstop to make sure he can make the play. Definitely been a bit of kryptonite on this MIT Engineers squad as their defense thus far.
Rubin, a part of the poker club at MIT, will look to play his cards right and see if the MIT Engineers can get a win out of this one. Of course, now the score 7-6 after a prolific MIT inning. The Jumbos managed to come back just a little bit, but defensively, the Engineers will look to keep this one going.
Two-two count now for Ben Leonard, who is 2 for 3 on the day with a triple and an RBI. Has scored both times he's been on. Leonard is, as we like to say in the baseball community, absolutely raking. He's hitting for about a 700 clip. This is a favorable matchup against a guy with 20 ERA. As he ropes one, oh boy. Man, that ball just is about 20 feet wide of the right field foul pole, but Ben Leonard is seeing the ball well, an imposing presence in the box right now. That one had the distance. Count is 2-2. Leonard is going to be looking to do some damage. This kid is red hot.
That one on it again. Flares it to the net above the bench.
Nick, I have very low predictive success, but I've got that tingling feeling that Ben Leonard is about to do some damage. He looks imposing in the box right now. So he takes that one. It's a walk.
Living up to your reputation, naturally.
Well, he didn't have an opportunity, but what are we? We're in the bottom of the 6th. He'll have another chance up at the plate. Boy, this kid is on fire as of late. Really this entire season. Had that 5-hit game earlier in the year and building on that today.
Pavlik. Runner advances.
Oh, that ball got him.
And Pavlik will advance as well.
Ball caught the back foot. Max Pavlik.
Of course, leaves Cooper Smith just getting the sprint practice in. Could have strolled across to second base, but chose not to. Sprinted anyway.
That off-speed pitch misses up in the zone. 2 guys on and 2 out now for Cooper Smith, who is also boasting a 2-for-3 day. He had that RBI double down the left field line a couple innings ago.
That one outside. Maybe Ruben looking to just walk Smith, but I'd be a little surprised about that strategy. That one drops under, sends the count to 3-0.
Four-pitch walk puts Cooper Smith on and brings up to the plate in a big spot the freshman standout James Henshin. Maybe his biggest at-bat of the season thus far. He started 5 games for the Jumbos, hitting just .231 coming in, and he's 0 for 2 today, but boy, could he turn that day around with a big hit here with the bases juiced in the bottom of the 6th, down 1. First pitch is in the dirt and blocked nicely there by Dwyer. I'm going to get a conversation here.
I apologize for the initial misstatement earlier. It is Ben Leonard on third, Max Pavlik on second, Cooper Smith on first. As you're right, James Henshin, a big batting opportunity to swing the offensive momentum in favor of the Jumbos, score 7-6. This would certainly, if your prediction maybe was just 2 runners late, be a big change for the Jumbos and the Engineers.
Yeah, Henshin had a big game against Eastern Connecticut State on the 8th of the month, had 3 RBIs in that one. Has 3 out there for him right now and would be a huge spot to come through big for his ball club. He's swinging and fouling the ball in the direction of the parking lot down the right field line. Count goes to 1-1.
As you mentioned, a team effort to collect foul balls. One of the MIT players doing that as Ruben will find a strike against Henshin now. Count 1-2. Henshin drives that one center field. Will it sit up? It looks to. Schoenfeld easy under. And that will change the momentum. 3 runners stranded for the Jumbos. Score still 7-6 as the MIT offense will be able to come back out in the top of the 7th. We will take a quick break.
coming in now in relief of Hirsch for the Jumbos is junior left-hander Jack McLaughlin out of Petersboro, New Hampshire. The junior stands at 5'10", 190. He's thrown 3 innings thus far this season for the Jumbos. 2 against Brandeis, in which he conceded no runs in a good outing, but then 1 blow-up inning against Wheaton, in which he gave up 4 earned runs, only on 2 hits, strangely, but did concede 4 walks in that one. So it's been a mixed bag in his 2 appearances. We'll see what we can get out of the Jumbo's 6th wing of the game, 5th arm to come out of the bullpen. So probably not the amount of guys that Coach Brian Stark would have liked to be burning on a winless team, but nonetheless, we are where we are in the top of the 7th. The Jumbos trail the Engineers by 1 run, 7-6. Standing in now is left fielder C.J. McCarthy. He's over 1 of the day.
Will be said as McLaughlin finds his first strike there that the Jumbos in the next 3 days will begin their own California campaign, going on to also take on Pomona Pitzer in a day on Saturday, and then a doubleheader on Sunday before taking on Claremont, Mudd, Scripps Colleges, Chapman University, and then playing 3 games against Whittier before returning to Boston to play UMass Boston here at Saul Gittleman Park on the 25th.
That'll be a fun spring break trip for the guys to get out and be in the warm weather, although we've been enjoying some nice weather here in the Boston area as of late. Kind of a brisk 45 today, but we had like 60 yesterday, 65 I think coming tomorrow, so I've heard. But it'll definitely be nice for the guys to get out in some warm weather and face some good competition over spring break in California, and then come back ready for conference play whenever they get back.
Yeah, for sure. Good little bit by Banner there to keep a bouncing pitch in front of him with a swinging hand out to the left. And on that note, C.J. McCarthy sat down.
Nice hard
Jack McLaughlin.
Nice hard fastball there by Jack McLaughlin. Really nothing too fancy to it. Just blew it right by C.J. McCarthy for the first out of the inning.
Brings up catcher John Dwyer. First pitch finds the strike zone right away. McLaughlin seeming to be firing right now on all cylinders. Will obviously look to make this inning go 9 pitches, 9 strikes. That one goes outside. There's that hope gone. 1-1 for McLaughlin. Still, good outing so far. Swings at that one. That one driven out to Henshin, but Henshin drops it. It'll fall to Ozzie Fleischer as
that'll go as an E5 for sure. Tricky in-between hop for the freshman who was recruited as an outfielder, so we're kind of surprised at the onset of the season to see him playing third base. Generally has been pretty sure-handed. Made an error in the first game of the year against Brandeis, and there makes his 2nd error of the season on a tricky play, but would like to see maybe a drop step and take that on the long hop, or come in charging and take it on the short hop. Instead, he kind of gets it in between and it eats him up a little bit, so it'll be an E5.
Brings up the Engineers' long-armed threat, Luis Hernandez. Dynamic at first base today. Dynamic on the offense as well. Swinging at that one, though. Count 0-2 on him right now.
Hernandez had that homer back in his first debut that came off the bat at 104 miles an hour and just barely, controversially, tucked it inside the left field foul pole. The Jumbos thought it was a foul ball, but ruled a home run. No swing there on the check. Count goes to 1-2 with 1 away in the top of the 7th. 1 guy on as Jack McLaughlin faces Luis Hernandez.
Yeah, Luis Hernandez done, as we've mentioned, a good job. Swings at that one, drives it into the pocket left. as it'll be a quick play from Ben Leonard to send that one to third to stop any further advance. Hernandez will go to first, pushing John Dwyer to second.
Nice 2-hit day out of the 9-hole for Hernandez, able to flip the lineup now. 2 ducks on the pond with only 1 out for leadoff hitter center fielder Schoenfeld. He's 0 for 3 on the day.
That
First.
ball drops outside, 1-0.
Fastball misses up there, a little chin music that Schoenfeld is able to get out of the way of. TrackMan is reading that at only 83 miles an hour, but I guess, at least from up here, it looks a lot harder. Mid is snapping hard. Nick Banner's mid is. I think it's a mix of Jack McLaughlin is able to get down the mound well and kind of cut some of that distance. What is usually 60.6 is probably looking a lot more like 54 feet from the mound to the plate. Generally for D3 recruitment, you'll see lefties come in low, mid-eights, righties a couple miles an hour harder on account of the fact that lefties are kind of a more prized commodity, harder to come by, generally harder to pick up. So they don't throw quite as hard. If they do, they go usually D2, D1 level. But
Schoenfeld walked there. Sends the bases loaded, bringing up Owen Malone for the Engineers. Mound visit as well. Malone today, 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI, slugging .667 in today's matchup.
Jumbos find themselves in a pickle again. Jack McLaughlin has the bases loaded with 1 out now for the 2-hitter, Owen Malone.
Dangerous situation for the Jumbos. That one way outside from McLaughlin. Banner gets onto it, though, to keep it in front and not let any runners come home. 1-0.
Jumbo's been on the receiving end of the bases loaded a couple times. Oh, that pitch skips in. Nice job. Good block by Nick Banner there. Dangerous, bouncing fastball with a guy on third base. As I was saying, the Jumbos have been in this situation a couple times and have shown the same defensive alignment. The corners drawn in the middle infield pushback, looking to roll 2 up the middle. That ball is laced up the middle. Gets by the diving second baseman into center field. The wave is on for Hernandez, who comes home and will score without a throw. 2-run RBI single into center field for Owen Malone, and it comes at a clutch time for the Engineers. They extend their lead by 2 more runs. It's now 9-6 with 1 out. And guys on first and third for the Engineers. The Jumbos are in trouble late in this one.
Owen Malone earlier in this matchup had a double RBI. That one, a single 2 RBI. Impressive from Malone. Brings up now, of course, John Spivey. 3 ABs today, 1 hit in today's matchup.
Nice slider there. Tight breaking pitch. Gets the first strike of the at-bat. Count is 1-1. The Jumbos continue to struggle to limit offensive production from their opponents. Now have given up 9 in this one on 10 hits. That's a hanging curveball that gets banged away foul. Luckily out in front. So that's a long strike, 1-2.
That ball driven left looked initially a little dangerous, but does, in fact, as you mentioned, go way foul. Runners on first and third.
Runners going. That ball just barely misses the chalk down the left field line. Foul. Owen Malone on first base, running on Jack McLaughlin's first move there, as most base runners will do, trying to steal on a lefty pitcher. So the Engineers trying to push another guy into scoring position with a man already on third base. Not running on this pitch, which is taken for strike 3, a clutch strikeout for Jack McLaughlin. Needed that one. 2 outs now.
Schoenfeld sitting on third. Up comes Zev Moore. Zev Moore, another productive bat for this Engineer squad. Will the luck for the Jumbos get any worse? McLaughlin looks at first with a soft little throw, I think, just to tell Owen Malone, I'm still looking at you. Moore now.
Guessing now with 2 outs, though, can't be certain, but I'm guessing Owen Malone will not be in motion. Oh, excuse me, he's running on the very next pitch. So that shows my ball knowledge.
Maybe hoping that Banner wouldn't throw for fear of causing some form of error or mistake. Banner did not throw at all on that one. Malone, of course, beats Banner to second base. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Moore takes a strike there, count 1-1.
Yeah, often you'll see teams run with guys on first and third. You don't want to throw down to second with that guy on third, or maybe they had a read on that pitch being early breaking ball. Those are generally easier to run on. Jumbos have thrown first pitch breakers a lot, as that one skips in and is blocked nicely by Nick Banner. Zev Moore. It's a double in this one. This is a huge spot. A hit to the outfield would likely plate 2 and extend the lead to 5 runs.
Moore, as we mentioned as well, has gotten on base every at-bat he's had today. Count 3-1 to him now. The pressure on McLaughlin to get himself out of this tricky situation. See if he can get back on top of the count without losing any more runs.
Oh, plunks him.
That one hits Moore, and the bases go loaded again.
You know, Nick, usually I'd say that a guy like Zev Moore with his offensive production, not the worst guy to put on when you have a base empty and with guys on second and third. But the trouble is, following him in the lineup is Malachi Soki, who is equally formidable at the plate. He's 2 for 4 on the day with 2 RBIs, so he's also not the guy you want to see in this situation. But Jack McLaughlin starts him off right with a slider for a strike, 0-1 count in a huge at-bat here. 2 outs and bases juiced once again. Feel like a broken record. I keep saying that.
That one wide outside. Banner does a good job keeping it in front of him. Also letting that one roll just a little bit, maybe to see if it goes back fair, but of course, just in case. Also maybe just slowing the play down, giving McLaughlin a chance to think and strategize. Pitch in now. That one goes high. Count 2-1.
McLaughlin has walked 2 guys in this one and also hit a batter. Cannot do that in this situation because you've got nowhere to put him. So you've got to attack Malachi Soki.
Soki swings at that one, fouls it back. Count goes 2s. Be curious who's more stressed in this situation, if it is Soki or McLaughlin.
Oh, it's McLaughlin. Soki's having all the fun in the world. He's in the driver's seat here. But he swings through it. McLaughlin does a great job. Changing speed, has him way out in front. Clutch strikeout for number 15 in the baby blue. The Jumbos strand 3. Second time in this game that MIT has done that on the offensive end. But nonetheless, they hang up a crooked number in the top of the 7th. It is now 9-6 and stretch time here in Medford. So we will enjoy the 7th inning stretch and then come back for the Jumbos half of the inning. We'll take a Leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Jumbos, we have A.J. Lisco, the right fielder. He stands in, hitting 1 for 3 on the day. Left on base twice.
Lisco swings at that one, sends that one foul left. That one finds the strike zone.
Lisco playing in place today of Owen McKiernan, the everyday right fielder. Owen McKiernan is a junior out of Durham, North Carolina, who's been struggling. He's 2 for 10 at the plate. That one is laced into the right field corner. If it's fair, it's extra bases. It's off the wall. Lisco rounds first and trots into second with a stand-up double to lead off the inning. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Jumbos as A.J. Lisco bangs his second hit of the day off the right field wall. Didn't quite have the launch angle to get it up over that tall wall out there, but certainly had the exit velo. That one came off the bat hot.
Yeah, for sure. Great hit there by Lisco. Great start to the inning for the Jumbos. Brings up Nick Banner, the catcher, trying to salvage this situation for the Jumbos. Change the score from 9-6 to anything in favor of the Jumbos beating the Engineers.
See if the Jumbos can break it open this inning. Ruben was probably the wing they wanted to see. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he's had 2 outings, both of which were pretty ugly earlier in the season. He is came in with a 22 ERA. Today has given up 5 hits and 2 walks, but only conceded 1 earned run. 1 run also plated on an error. So that fastball misses outside. So maybe this is the inning that the Jumbos can finally capitalize. Second time through the order, seeing Ruben.
Yeah, of course the Jumbos will look to capitalize now. Count 2-1. Pitcher sets, pitch in, swings at that one, drives it left field line. Caught by, my apologies, Brock Billingsley sent to Hernandez. Hernandez able to, of course, be consistent, beat Banner out to the bag.
Yeah, nice play over there at third base, making sure to look back A.J. Lisco at second, preventing the advance, and then calmly understanding the amount of time that he had. Did Owen Malone throw out Nick Banner? That fastball is yanked outside into the lefty batter's box. Ball 1 to Ozzie Fleischer, who stands in, hitting 1 for 3 on the day, does the graduate student captain. Swings right through that one.
That one lower down, 2-1 is the count right now to Ozzie Fleischer. Fleischer, runner on second, will look to capitalize.
That ball skirts away from the catcher, and a heads-up good dirt ball read on second base by A.J. Lisco. Coach Brian Stark is going to like that. Heavy fist bump. He's looking over. He's looking in at his captain, pumping his fist, saying, let's go. He wants Ozzie to come through in a big spot for the Jumbos. They need him here.
Fleischer swings at that one, fouls it back. Count 2-2.
You know, Nick, we talked earlier in the game about, said Ben Leonard, he really looks hitterish in there right now. Just looks really eager to pounce on everything he sees. Oh, Fleischer up the middle as he pumps his fist, jogging down the first base line. Huge RBI knock, second hit of the game for number 12. Plates A.J. Lisco, and the Jumbo's deficit is now just 2.
Yeah, that was a decent dive there by Zev Moore. Just a second too late. Schoenfeld comes out from outfield and grabs that one to limit the loss any further, of course. That first pitch in, a little outside. Abraham will look to keep the momentum going that Fleischer started. Rubin still struggling to find the strike zone against Abraham. Count now 2-0. Maybe a little rattled by the Fleischer hit that came pretty close to him and pretty close right at him. Of course, Rubin a pitcher. It's not going to be the first time it's happened.
Pickoff look over at Fleischer on first base. Not a huge threat to run. Had 10 stolen bases last year. Did swipe 18 bags in his junior season back in 2023. Has just one thus far in the young season. So be curious to see if the Jumbos put him in motion. The tying run is the one at the plate, Caden Abraham. He squares the bunt, actually, but pulls it back and takes a fastball right down the middle. So maybe just a spoof attempt there, 3-0. If it was a sincere effort, that undoubtedly would have been the pitch that he wanted to lay it down on. Fastball right down the middle.
Count 3-1 now. That one a ball. Walked. Caden Abraham sent to first. Brings up Ian Robertson to try and send Fleischer and Abraham home to tie this game for the Jumbos. Heading into this back end of this matchup.
Robertson takes strike one on the off-speed pitch. Came into this one with only one at-bat and was 1 for 1 with a hit against Eastern Connecticut State. He's 0 for 3 today. So he's due, looking to come through big for his club.
Swinging and missing. Count 0-2 right now for Robertson as that one beats him to the mitt.
Any MIT listeners who take offense to my use of the term due, it may be a statistical fallacy, so maybe there's no such thing as being due as a hitter. I don't know.
Gets onto that one, sent it straight to Hernandez. Hernandez tags one and does not go home. Fleischer gets the stop sign, of course, and runners in scoring position now for the Jumbos. 2 ducks on the pond. Brings up Ben Leonard, a dangerous bat if you're the Engineers.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn ready. It is Ben Leonard. This is the at-bat of the game. Jumbo's strongest hitter in a huge spot with 2 guys on. Down 2. First pitch fastball is spiked into the dirt. Not that you have much easier matchups following him with Max Pavlik on deck, but with a base open, you wonder if they're going to pitch cautiously to Ben Leonard, who's just an absolutely red-hot bat, as I mentioned, looking really hitterish in the box.
Swings at that one, drives it left. That one goes foul. Clearly looking to get on the ball and to do any offensive damage he can.
Nice to see some of the rest of the Tufts athletics community filter in, seeing freshman basketball player Evan Reeves, a couple other guys on the basketball team.
Josh Bernstein in the stands today.
Josh Bernstein is in there.
Bit of a chilly day to be watching baseball. That one goes. Hernandez on top of it. Quick to Rubin to end the inning. Stranding 2 for the Jumbos. Score still 9-7 as the Engineers get a chance to bring out their offense again and pile on to what is seeming to be a Engineer-heavy second half of this matchup here in Medford. And we are back. Arm change for the Jumbos. In comes Derek Desmaris, number 44, the first year from Washington, D.C., standing at 5'10", 185 this season. Has pitched 2 innings against Eastern Connecticut State in the Jumbos' win against them. Gave up no earned runs, had 3 strikeouts, a walk, and a hit. A decent outing for Desmaris in his start for this Jumbos squad as he pitches against Reed Tubbs. Reed Tubbs fouls the first one back. Score 9-7. Top of the 8th in this matchup here in Medford. 0-1 the count. That one in, finds a strike, makes the count 0-2. Desmaris looking to replicate his Eastern Connecticut State performance with as many strikeouts as he can.
Nice 0-2 pitch there, goes to the off speed. Good job by Reed Tubbs laying off. Tubbs stands in. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Did score a run in his only time on base. Now the 1-2 incoming for Desmaris. He's chopped down to the third base side, scooped up by James Henson in foul territory, so we'll see the 1-2 again.
Henson getting a little practice there on the left field line, keeping the cylinders firing for this Jumbo squad as the next pitch comes in. That one goes outside.
Yeah, I wanted that one. Looked like Nick Banner was coming up ready to throw it around the horn, but didn't get the call in the outside corner.
Count 2, that one sent fly as well.
It's really been one of the only complaints we've seen with the home plate umpire zone, so have to imagine calling a pretty good game. Haven't seen much rebuke from either side thus far. Not always the case.
Another ball sends the count full. Tubbs will either, obviously, take the walk or see if he can create some offensive momentum for the Engineers. Swings at that one, left field, Henson on it. Henson drops it again, though, flicks it to Smith. Smith outside, goes under him. Reed Tubbs advancing to second on another error from Henson, and then an error.
Yeah, Henson, number 19, over at third base, makes a second error of the game. Again, that'll go as an E5. Bobbled the backhand, or actually picked up the backhand pretty cleanly, bobbled the transfer, and then after that probably should have eaten the throw. Instead, rushed it and threw it down the line, then allowing the advance by Reed Tubbs to second base. So still seeing some growing pains for the freshman. Squaring to bunt now is C.J. McCarthy, as he stands in 0 for 2 on the day, is the left fielder. He did walk, but struck out twice.
Pitch in, swings at that one, sends it quick to first for Smith. Smith onto that one, easy. And a good flick there from Robertson to score the Jumbos' first out of this inning.
Nice play there by Ian Robertson, raging glove side, but also good work by C.J. McCarthy. We saw him originally square to bunt. Does functionally the same job, hitting it to the right side and moving the runner over to third base.
Up now is Dwyer. That one bottom outside as well. Count 2-0 now. Base runner on third. That, of course, Dwyer will look to bring home with any offensive action pretty much.
See the Tufts infield drawn, looking to cut down that run of the plate. Squeeze is on. Runner's coming home on the bunt. Scores successfully. Nice PFP, good job fielding his position there by Dismaris, but the sack squeeze works to perfection by the Engineers. Get the bunt down and plate. That was Reed Tubbs on third base. So the lead now extends to 3 runs, 10-7 Engineers, and up to the plate comes Luis Hernandez, 2 for 3 with that big towering solo shot earlier in this one.
Hernandez has come up to the bat a couple of times with batters on, not the case today. Looking at clean bags. Takes a second to go talk to his head coach.
Not so often you see that. Just a conversation between player and coach mid AB. Not really any situational concern. Maybe had a tip on Dismaris, the pitcher, or maybe just wanted to slow down his guy and allow him to think a bit more thoughtfully about his approach. But that's usually something you'll see with guys on base wanting to understand the situation a little better, maybe work something like what we saw last time with the squeeze or a bunt or something of that nature, but probably telling him to swing away here.
Yeah, Hernandez swinging at that one. 1-2 count for him now. Dismaris will try and find a third out and put the Jumbos back into offensive space to maybe come back and tie this game if they can. Hernandez swings at that one, goes just outside of the mid of Henshin. Hernandez running, goes to second as it is Ben Leonard out in the outfield, swinging that one back to Fleischer to stop momentum further. Up now for the Engineers is Schoenfeld.
Have yourself a day, Luis Hernandez. That one maybe tipped off the diving glove of James Henshin, but will undoubtedly go as a double. That ball was laced down the line. He's now 3 for 4 and a triple shy of the cycle. Also add 2 RBIs and 2 runs to his line. So if the Engineers are able to hold their 3-run lead, he will undoubtedly be their player of the game. Dismaris is able to pump in a strike and start off on the right foot now to the top of the lineup with Schoenfeld. Nick, what do you think? How do you think that affects kind of the momentum and energy of an offense to have that kind of production out of the 9-hole hitter?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's impressive from Hernandez. He's been consistent. That one driven right. Will it go foul? The answer is yes. In that case, I think from a momentum point of view, clearly for the Engineers, they've gotten a bit of the instruction, be smart but swing away. And in the case that they can keep this up, of course the defensive production needs to be good, but good momentum so far for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Schoenfeld, one of only 2 guys in this Engineers lineup that is hitless on the day. He's 0 for 3 in the leadoff hole.
Swings on that one. That one goes foul. Decent run by Henshin. The hat again comes off for the several time today. Dismaris, count 1-2, 2 outs, score 10-7.
Just looking at some of the last couple Jumbo's games, they give up as we'll get to this point at the end of the next inning. Nice strikeout there by Dismaris to close out the bottom of the 8th. The Engineers do put one more across. The lead is now 10-7. We'll take a
All right, and we are back here at Saul Gittleman Park. Up Max Pavlik against Chase Rubin.
Yeah, Nick, really interesting outing today by Chase Rubin. In his 3 innings of work earlier in the season, he posted a 22 ERA. And while it hasn't been pretty today, in now several innings of work, he's only conceded 2 earned runs, though he has given up 6 hits and 3 walks. So it is important, as they say, to be able to win ugly, and Chase Rubin's kind of just been fighting through it out there on the bump. He does have the heart of the Tufts lineup, 3-4-5 here, due up in the bottom of the 8th, looking to do some damage and climb back in this one.
Pavlik swings at that one, sends the count to 1-2. Pavlik running on a dropped third strike there, but is beaten to the bag.
So after 80 pitches, Chase Rubin logs his first strikeout of the day. Sitting down the 3-hitter, Max Pavlik, the DH, who is now 0 for 4. That brings up Cooper Smith.
Cooper Smith swinging right away, chops that down to third base to first. Hernandez on that one, getting another stretch in as he tags another out.
You know, we've been talking about and complimenting the catch radius and stretch of Luis Hernandez. That one felt a little superfluous. That throw beat Cooper Smith by about 3 steps, and nonetheless he drops into a full split, maybe just to attract some eyes in the crowd, which he does successfully, but kind of unnecessary.
High school, you might say the scouts are here, but this is college. There are no more scouts.
If the scouts were here, they would be impressed with what they've seen from Luis Hernandez. So maybe he's just trying to get a good highlight reel for the gram. Maybe that's the equivalent of
True enough.
the scouts being here at the collegiate level, at least at the D3 level.
Yeah, I was going to say D3 at least. Swinging on that one is James Henshin. Count 0-2 right now.
Hernandez is sitting a double shy of the
That
cycle.
one driven
Oh.
to Zev Moore. What a snag from him there at second base on a diving catch to end the inning for the Jumbos.
What a play by Zev Moore, and not the inning that the Jumbos needed. They go up 1-2-3 in order quickly. They'll have just 3 more outs to make up 3 runs, but first the Engineers will have a chance to add some insurance in the top of the 9th. We'll take a quick break and be back with you shortly for the
Sure, send it. All right, we're back. Apologize for the hot mic moment. However, score 10-7 here at Saul Gittleman Park. Another arm change for the Jumbos. Bring up the southpaw from Rye, New York, Jack Edwards. Matthew, what do we think about him?
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot on this guy. The junior stands at 6'5", 195, making his season debut this year after appearing in just 1 game last year where he threw 1 scoreless. Definitely has an imposing frame and a lefty, which you like to see. He'll face the heart of the Engineers lineup, Owen Malone, followed by John Spivey and Zev Moore. Owen Malone has a multi-hit game to his name thus far with a double and 3 RBIs. So Edwards will have his work cut out for him as he looks to just contain this Engineers lineup, and hopefully the Jumbos can battle back in the bottom half of this inning.
You know, if you're head coach Brian Stark, why the arm changes today? What do you think the reason for it is?
I mean, candidly, it's probably just been because guys have been struggling. I mean, really, none of the pitchers have flashed really any kind of strong dominance. Probably the best arm, arguably, was the starter, and now the Engineers after that, facing 7 or 8 guys out of the pen, have been able to tag on 11 hits and 10 runs. Also, there were 3 errors in there for the Jumbos, which obviously doesn't help things. But it's been a continued struggle for this team to contain opposing teams' offenses. If you look at our schedule, that doubleheader against Eastern Connecticut State conceded 13 in what ended up being an extra innings win. That was a thriller, but then gave up 8 and lost the next one of the doubleheader, then gave up 14 and 17, losing both of the next 2 games. So it's hard to win games when you're giving up double-digit runs to opposing offenses, and that's something the Jumbos have found because the trend has continued in this game. The offense has been pretty productive. You expect to win most games where you score 7, 8, 9, 10 runs, but that just has not been the case on account of the poor defensive showing as of late for Tufts. Owen Malone thought that was ball 4. It was actually strike 3. He gets punched out, and a good start to the day for Jack Edwards, striking out the first batter he faces.
Yeah, a great start for Jack Edwards. Brings up right fielder John Spivey. He's hit with a pitch right away. A little bit of Jack Edwards undoing the momentum that he just had. Bringing up Zev Moore to get the bats swinging for the Engineers and see if they can pile more on to this day to make the comeback from the Jumbos a little more difficult.
Kind of a frustrating hit by pitch there as Spivey will jog it off down the right field line. Really made no effort to get out of the way of that one, and can't blame him. Good to have a guy on base. That's what the MIT coaching staff will undoubtedly like to see, but can also imagine some frustration for Jack Edwards is putting a guy on for something as silly as that can be frustrating.
That one, trying to find the outside of the zone, can't find it, sends the count to 1-0. Zev had a fantastic diving catch in the last inning to end it. Swinging away at that one, not making contact. Score count now 1-1. Sun starting to go down here in Medford, or maybe going down. Luckily, getting to the point in the spring where the sun is going down. That one fouled into the parking lot. Maybe a lucky bounce in between cars. I'm impressed by that ball. However, of course, as we were saying, sun starting to set here in Medford as we are approaching those spring nights for baseball here at Saul Gittleman, where it is possible to play a little longer into the evening without the lights coming on. Another pitch there. Count is 2s.
Yeah, daylight savings, that spring forward, Nick, is always kind of a friendly surprise. Never really on my radar, and then catch an extra night of sleep, or maybe as in the case of this year when it fell on a Saturday, up late and the clock jumps from 2 to 3 a.m., but it does allow some later baseball into the night here. 5:53 here in Medford and still bright skies. 2 hours and 53 minutes into this one, as that one is chopped foul and the count remains full.
Zev Moore, 3-2 count. Set pitch in. That one. He is struck out. Zev Moore and Owen Malone looking the same in the last two pitches, thinking they've gotten away with a fourth ball, and instead have been denied their walk to first, taking strikes on the third for both of them. Now 2 outs and a decent start for Jack Edwards, as he will look to try and sit down another batter. That batter, of course, for the Engineers is number 26, C.J. McCarthy. My apologies. It is not C.J. McCarthy. It's Malachi Soki. Nonetheless, count for Soki, 1-1. Swings on that one, drives it towards an easy catch for Ian Robertson to end the top of the ninth. The Jumbos now seeking a Medford miracle, a chance at redemption, whether or not they'll find it as Luis Hernandez trots out to base, eager to see a dub for this Engineers squad.
Due up next inning for the Jumbos, 3 guys with a multi-hit game going for them. Lisco, Banner, Fleischer. Let's see if we can tack 3 across, get some free baseball, and maybe walk it off here in the bottom of the ninth. We'll take a quick break and then be back for AJ Lisco to lead off the bottom of the ninth inning here in Medford, Mass.
And we are back for the bottom of the ninth. A couple of defensive changes for the Engineers. Playing shortstop, number 2, Jack Finnegan, the sophomore infielder from Essex, Connecticut, sitting at 6 foot 175, majoring in computer science. Playing right field, the sophomore outfielder from New York, sitting at 6'1", 195, Maximo Del Pino, majoring in mathematics and finance. And of course, on the mound, looking to close out what has been a decent day for the Engineers. Score currently sits at 10-7, is the player you've seen all game long, the senior infielder from Pflugerville, Texas, majoring in chemical engineering, Reed Tubbs, standing at 6'1", 180. This season, from a pitching point of view, pitched 1.2 innings against Laverne, gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, and will look to continue his streak of not giving up any runs here against the Jumbos and number 34, AJ Lisco.
First pitch misses somewhere, I'm guessing inside. Looked close to AJ Lisco. Tubbs will have his work cut out for him against. That ball is popped up. No play, that'll go out of play. He'll have his work cut out for him against AJ Lisco, Nick Banner, and Ozzie Fleischer. While that is the 6, 7, 8 of the Jumbos lineup, those guys are all working a multi-hit game at the moment. In his last at-bat, Lisco hammered a ball off the right field wall.
Swings at that one, drives it center field. Schoenfeld looking to get under it. Actually, C.J. McCarthy, the one who catches that one, though. 1 out for the Engineers. 2 outs away from closing this game out here in Medford, Mass, and picking up their first win of the season.
Nick Banner looking to get things going here with 1 out. He stands in, having a good day. The freshman in just his second career start, 2 for 3 with a walk, has scored twice and also stole a base. Faces Reed Tubbs, who's looking to put together a uniquely... Oh, that ball's hammered out to right field. Right fielder moving back. That ball's off the top of the right field wall. Rounding first is Nick Banner. He's into second standing. Have yourself a day, Nick Banner. 3 for 4 stand-up double off the right center wall. Exactly what the Jumbos needed now. 1 out and a guy in scoring position, but they need a lot more. They're down 3. Facing Reed Tubbs, who's looking to go 1 for 5 and get a save today.
For sure. Apple away keeps the doctor. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. More of those from Nick Banner gives the Jumbos maybe some hope in the back end of this matchup. Is there a lost doctor? More of those keeps the lost doctor away, maybe?
I don't know if I've heard that one.
I don't think I have either. Analogies aren't really working. Ozzie Fleischer swinging the bat right now. Count 0-2 against him to start. Nick Banner on second. Goes down swinging, and Reed Tubbs gets his second out. 1 out away from a save and the first win for the Engineers. Brings up Henry Fleckner.
It's just the 3rd strikeout today for the MIT pitching staff, whereas Tufts has tallied 10. But nonetheless, they're in the driver's seat to win this one, as that is popped up. Should be a can of corn for Zev Moore, a fitting player to end it. And with that, the MIT Engineers best the Tufts University Jumbos 10-7 here in Medford, Mass, winning for the 2nd consecutive year and also tallying their first win of the young season. They move to 1-6. The Tufts Jumbos lose their 3rd straight ahead of their road trip out west in California for spring break. Nick Dorr, it's been a pleasure. Any concluding thoughts?
Yeah, I thought that was a great game from the Engineers, managing to start slow but then get the offensive engine moving and find a way to strategize and find some victory. And the Engineers pick up their first win in the win column. As always, it's been an honor here on JumboCast. I'm Nick Dorr and Matthew Long. Stay home safe.